Pincay here to take you through this week on horse racing television. Retired track announcer Phil Saltzman returned to the mic this week, calling the races at Calder Racecourse.
Phil, coming back this week and filling in for Bobby Newman, was it like riding a bike, just jumping back in and no problem whatsoever?
Don't let anyone fool you. When you're 72 years old, there was a reason I retired. It's been tough, but it's been a pleasure, and it's fun to be back here. And I'm glad that this is the last day, not for any other reason, but because Bobby's back and he does a terrific job here. And it's just nice to say hello to everybody and be recognized. Every time I walk down the grandstand, on one of my days when I come to play, there's at least a half a dozen people calling me saying, and they're not going to get him today. So it's a fun thing, and it's nice to be recognized once in a while.
As a native of Brooklyn, was there any question that you would find a life at the racetrack?
Absolutely not. I had no chance to be any place but at a racetrack. It started at home with my father, who said, "Come on, kid, let's go to the racetrack." And I progressed from there to where I ended up now.
Churchill announcer Mark Johnson reflects on his first season calling the races under the Twin Spires.
What would you say was the highlight, Mark?
Oh, well, the obvious answer is a race called the Derby and Mind That Bird, but that would be making it far, far too simplistic. Probably the most awesome Grade 1 performance I've ever had the pleasure of calling in 23 years of track announcing was Rachel Alexandra winning the Oaks the previous day. Just so many highlights, some incredible performances, both jockeys and horses. Some of the rides that Calvin Burrell has given horses. We all think about the brave ride on Mind That Bird. We go back to Super Saturday a couple of weeks ago, and that ride on the rail on Mrs. Zeller. I still don't believe there was a gap there on the rail that he managed to get through. We've just seen some awesome performances. One little highlight for me was that a horse, unfortunately, she scratched today, a horse called Tizaquina. She won on the undercard on Derby Day, and she looked beaten and absolutely done for and battled back tenaciously against the inside, and just races like that. But yeah, every day has been a little bit of a highlight. Well, coming here, and I said to you when I was about to start the job that you're walking into not just a racetrack but a piece of modern day history, and every day I sort of go home thinking, yeah, that was awesome.
Mind That Bird has skimmed the rail. A brilliant ride by Calvin Burrell. Mind That Bird wins the Derby.
Rachel Alexandra absolutely pulverizes this field.
Einstein and Cowboy Cow slugging it out close home. Einstein will not hear of defeat. Einstein wins. Mrs. Zeller has got the rail and tried to get through and hit the rail. Calvin Burrell, Miss Zeller. What a game performance.
Welcome to Downs After Dark.
Not often you can be around a place that's been in existence for 135 years, experience something completely new, but that's what we're doing tonight.
Macho again is out in front, down the outside, Arson squad. Einstein got out late, it's too late today. Macho again wins.
Bet or no bet?
I picked number 8.
Sister Luani's digging deep, here's the line, tight.
Churchill Downs, dead heat, wow. And Carolyn and Scott were up early on Independence Day for the Coral Eclipse Stakes from Sandown.
It's a race that has been won by royalty. Named after the legendary eclipse, for over a century, it's been regarded as one of England's most prestigious races. Today, 10 will enter the starting gate. 3 for trainer Aidan O'Brien, seeking his 5th win, while Henry Cecil goes for 4. But trainer John Ox hopes to see the stars on the 4th of July.
See the stars will complete the Guineas and Derby double!
The 2009 Coral Eclipse is coming up next on HRTV.
The The Guineas and Derby winner strikes the front. Rip Van Winkle in his slipstream. Conduits come from the rear. He's gone for the Whip Canaan. A furlong left to go. See the Stars is answering the call. Here's Rip Van Winkle though. He's coming up on the outside. See the Stars has to dig deeper. He accelerates. It's See the Stars. He's coming away. A stellar racehorse goes on to become a champion.
When See the Stars saw the competition, he accelerated and proved his mettle.
Giving Mick Canaan his third Coral Eclipse Stakes win, and you know, things weren't meant to be for the Irish Derby, for the Epsom Derby winner, See the Stars, but John Ox doing the correct thing, brings him into this spot, gets the win, and arguably more impressive because he did beat older horses, including a Breeders' Cup Turf winner, Conduit.
But to come back and take on older horses, giving away, you know, or taking 11 pounds from the older, which is significant, but to come back and do that just goes on to prove his capabilities and the good placement by John Ox.
Who's to say coming to North America and running in the Breeders' Cup Classic is more of an option than going in the Breeders' Cup Turf, which is carded at 1.5 miles, and we saw what Ravens Pass was able to do over this pro ride surface, coming off of all those you know, Group 1 races in the UK on grass. It transferred beautifully over to the pro ride, so maybe it's just us hoping a little bit or praying and you know, pleading maybe that See the Stars will come out here and take on what the U.S. has to offer as far as in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
When HRTV Rewind returns, bet or no bet?
I think it's time for you guys to reveal the number, Laura. Okay. I picked number 8.
Inside or outside?
Sister Luani's digging deep. Here's the line. Tight.
And the latest on Mind That Bird's little brother.
He's up at Saratoga now with Todd Pletcher, and we're pleased with the way he's going.
This was tough because I loved so many races. I mean, Seaspeak and Convocation, See the Stars, Munnings, Informed Decision, all look like very logical winners. And but I went with Back Talk. I think, and I'm partial to Smarty Jones. I loved him as a racehorse. I'm kind of hoping that in his second crop now that he finds a real top colt, and maybe Back Talk is the one. Very impressive in his racing debut for Tom Amoss. Looks like a horse will continue to improve with experience and distance. I'm going as my best bet, Back Talk, to remain undefeated in the Bashford Manor.
Flatter Than Me has taken the lead. Grand Slam Andre towards the outside. Back Talk is looking for racing room, and he's angling now to the outside of Flatter Than Me, racing down towards the final 16. Flatter Than Me is holding on to the lead. Here comes Back Talk. What a turn of foot. He got the gap, and he seizes the initiative, and Back Talk is 2 out of 2.
Cott Campbell was on the phone for a preview of Dogwood Stable's 2-year-olds who will begin their career at Saratoga.
Who do you have right now that's getting ready to run that we can watch for?
We're excited about the 2-year-olds, and we've got a good colt called Bricklayer by El Corredor, who won his first start, then went to Canada and didn't act too well on the synthetic racetrack up there. He will go in the Sanford early in Saratoga. Of course, Brother Bird will be in action the first week. We've got about 32-year-olds, and I would think maybe 15 or 16 would run at Saratoga.
Stepped in and bought this Yanaguska colt, Brother Bird, who you've named Brother Bird. They have to mind that bird.
You know, I hadn't planned to go to the sale, but I heard about him, and it was just one of those things that gelled all of a sudden. Hopefully it'll work out. He's up at Saratoga now with Todd Pletcher, and we're pleased with the way he's going.
Purchased him on May 18th. All the shares were sold by May 22nd. Were you surprised in this kind of economy that people are still willing to dive in there and get a part of perhaps the next Kentucky Derby winner?
He did sell well. He had a lot of pizzazz about him. You know, the timing was great. So the shares did sell like hotcakes, and now we'll see if that was a good move or not.
And were many people forming those syndicates, Scott, when you purchased your very first horse with partners and managed the partnership?
Nobody. People thought I was insane to do what I did, and I did do it. I thought it was a good idea, and I've always said that with me, it was a question of energy and enthusiasm overcoming stupidity and bad judgment. And the next thing I knew, I had a lot of horses, a lot of partners, and what a great life it's been.
The third edition of Downs After Dark saw record crowds, laser light shows, and the drama of photo finishes. in its bet or no bet contest.
Let's go to Mark Johnson at the top of the grandstands. Everybody that's not invested parimutually, root on the 4. Step out smartly. Let's see if we can get a winner in the contest.
That'd be great.
Step out smartly. Most Beautiful Storm hits the rail. To the outside. Step out smartly. These two now. Valentine Fever back in 3rd. 16th on the wire. Step out smartly. Most Beautiful Storm. Here comes the line. And it's too close to call.
Oh, one more look at it, and it did. At first glance, I thought the inside did get it. Slow-mo, I thought the inside did get it.
The longer they keep the photo up, the better chance that a young lady has in it. There she is.
She's not even, look at her.
She's not going to, like, throw that thing down and stomp on it if she loses.
I would be a nervous wreck. I would be a wreck right now.
It's a heater.
And it is a dead heat.
It's a heater.
Could not separate the two on the wire, so contestant wins, Burrell wins, everybody's happy. Her reaction, anybody?
She don't know she won.
She won.
Someone tell her she won. She thinks she ran 2nd.
You won, miss. You won. You got there. Yeah. She's ecstatic.
I don't think she's ecstatic. I think she's puzzled. If I won, then why is my horse 2nd on the tote board?
she's in shock. She's in shock.
I hope not. What was she going to 8 to 5? It'll pay less than
you know what?
It's cash in the ticket.
Cash
and she didn't put up a dime.
She didn't put up a dime.
Bet or no bet? Horse racing's version of deal or no deal continues at Churchill Downs. Take a look.
I think it's time for you to reveal the number, Laura. Okay. I picked number 8. Okay, why? Why pick number 8? The reason behind number 8 is my husband picked number 8. My neighbor Bill Donovan picked number 8. My birthday is July the 8th, so I have to go with 8.
So the Swami play from Laura. Let's see if we can make this birthday a really special one. Everybody, we got to cheer for number 8. Keep your fingers crossed.
2 to 1. You're making $2 grand if this horse hits.
Sister Luan has now swept the lead. Tiamo Bella has got out late. Is it too late? Down towards the final 16th. Sister Luan now about to be claimed by Tiamo Bella on the outside. Sister Luan is digging deep. Here's the line. Tight.
Now watch this.
She thinks she got beat.
A picture is 1,000 words.
Now she thinks she got beat, I think. This is coming down to the wire. This is still the race going on. And she's hoping.
Well, no, that's definitely not live.
No, yeah, see, the horses are right there, yeah.
Look at that. She has no idea how to react. Did we win? I don't know.
You have to sweat this one out. See that? Now I think she got beat there. Maybe now this is
a live look here.
This is live.
Bet or no bet. In the 7th race, we had a dead heat, and as long as this photo is taken to reveal, we might be looking at another one. Churchill Downs, dead heat in the 9th race between Tiamo Bea and Sister Luan. Wow. Darren Rogers was on the phone in the middle of all the Downs After Dark action Thursday night. Everything's going well. It looks like another raving success out at Churchill Downs this evening.
Yeah, it is a tremendous success, and thank you for breaking out the high school yearbook photo for tonight's appearance. In fact, we just had our final attendance number come in at 33,481 for our Downs After Dark finale, and that is the largest non-Derby, Oaks, or Breeders' Cup attendance in modern racing history here at Churchill Downs. An absolutely dynamic and exciting night.
Well, we can say that Churchill Downs is singularly responsible for all the people calling in sick in the Louisville area tomorrow.
Well, that's the good news. Most people are having a Friday off in honor of the 4th of July holiday weekend.
Well, Darren, we've got to tell you that next year you've got to send Lafitte and I out there to cover this event live from Louisville, Kentucky. But we've got to ask you about this bet or no bet contest. Who came up with this idea? It's fantastic.
I tell you what, it was a team effort right off the bat. The horse players, you knew you were going to like it. And I'll tell you what, in the paddock earlier tonight, the first contestant took the $100 and she got booed.
Did she get booed?
It was fabulous. So it's really become a great on-track promotion.
Jockey Malon Studert was injured in a shed row accident last month, but remains optimistic about her recovery and return to racing.
Tell us exactly what happened on that ill-fated morning when you were merely walking in the shed row of the barn of Rodrigo Ubillo.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny because I was only walking the horses that day, and then I just stopped and started petting the horse, talking to Rodrigo. The horse just jumped on me, threw me on the ground, and tripped on me, and just stayed there like a stupid baby. just a really playful horse because I ride him all the time. There was like no way of guessing he would ever do that. He didn't even give signs with his ears and nothing, you know.
Malin, it's really a testament to you. You're in such good spirits. You mentioned that it was funny, a story and things like that. This has to be very, very frustrating for you to be having to sit on the sidelines now in one of the biggest meets in America.
It is. But, you know, if I think about the frustration, it won't get me any better. It will just get me worse, actually. My goal right now is to get back to opening day in Aqueduct, and I hope I can do that. I'm doing really well here at the rehab. If I keep it like this, I'll get on the horse in like 3 months and then practice enough to get back to the fitness that I was when I first got hurt.
When HRTV Rewind returns, the must-have equipment for watching mule racing.
Gotta get the corn dog and the lemonade to watch the mules.
And 2 Hall of Famers for the price of 1.
I don't think either one of us riding around that ranch in Riverside ever gave a lot of thought to the Hall of Fame, huh?
No, I certainly didn't. I'll promise you that.
It is time to kick off racing at Pleasanton.
I see what's on the track now.
And I'm all about the mules. Oh, by the way, the mules, and this just in, the mules.
And these mules are a lot of fun to watch. I say it every time. You know, they walk to the gate professionally. They go in pretty professionally. When they break, it can be left turns, right turns, a little bit of mule mayhem. Then most of them stay the course. Some of them are running down the outside fence. But the minute the race is done, it's like they know, they start bucking, squealing, doing... There was a race at Fairplex. I think there were 7 mules in it. 6 of the riders got dropped after the wire as they started making left turns, right turns, bucking, having fun. Nobody hurt. All the loose mules on the track, and the riders walked back waving their whips in the air as the crowd went wild, screaming, and I mean, they're
luckily the trip is a little bit shorter. Let's see how this one turns out. Frank Miramonte with the call of the opening from the Alameda County Fair.
And they're off. Fast start for Miss Dupree. Elise Nelson drifting out while flashing some early foot. Just behind them, it's Siskiyou Losomi running on willingly. Toby is now 1 from the outside. All kinds of traffic here as Miss Dupree shifts to the outside. Miss Dupree, Elise Nelson. Elise Nelson has the lead. Miss Dupree very erratic. On the inside, Siskiyou Losomi. Siskiyou Losomi comes up to win it all.
Unfortunately, Miss Dupree doing what they usually get accused of doing all over the track.
Look at this. Left turns, right turns, all over the track. Now correct him, correct him. There he goes, diving back to the inside. Mule mayhem.
Love watching.
Gotta get the corn dog and the lemonade to watch the mules, and then have the dachshund that's ready to break from the race that you'll call.
I'll be calling the dachshund races. Yay.
The fairs are fun. They really are.
This week, Across the Board had 2 special guests, trainer Richard Mandela and jockey Pat Day.
What do you remember of a young Richard Mandela back from those days, Pat?
Oh, I remember the automobile that he drove into the farm in, and I thought that was pretty cool, and anticipated it, hopeful one day that I might have one like that.
What was the car, Pat?
Oh, it was a beautiful Corvette.
Sweet.
You know, is there any good stories you can tell us from back at that time?
You know what? I was so naive and dumb and green that I was trying to catch everything I could, trying to learn everything that I could, but never anticipated that the Lord would bless me with the career that I've certainly had. And it's been a joy to watch Richard in his career as a trainer and to be a fellow member of the Hall of Fame with him.
When you look at that from that aspect, Richard, I mean, really, you know, looking back at that in the period of time that has passed, did you ever think that was conceivable to both of you be where you're at today?
I don't think either one of us riding around that ranch in Riverside ever gave a lot of thought to the Hall of Fame, huh?
No, I certainly didn't. I'll promise you that.
We were just hoping to make a living.
Farm, I'd about decided I didn't want to be a jockey. That was too hard to work, 7 days a week, daylight till dark.
There's one thing about the racetrack. If you can't pass the test to make any other job, you can go to work at the racetrack.
And if you leave to try and do something else, you can always come back, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How would you like to have dinner with 23 of racing's greatest riders? Pat Day explains on Race Day America.
Pat, first of all, let's talk Dinner with the Dynasties. It's coming up at Arlington Park. who will be joining you in terms of some of the legendary riders, and what is the goal here for this dinner?
This is something that came about in an effort to raise money for the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund, as well as the racetrack chaplaincy. The idea was to get some riders of some notoriety to come together and make us available to sit and have dinner with whoever might be interested in buying a seat. And it kind of evolved from that. It's now called the Dining with the Dynasties fundraiser. But 23 riders that have had a major impact on the great sport of horse racing, and it'll be an opportunity of a lifetime for any and all that would care to attend.
What's it like to sit in a room with them and share an evening like this?
You're going to hear some wonderful stories, behind-the-scenes look at the great sport of horse racing, and you're going to see the world of racing through the jockey's eyes, and it'll be a memorable occasion, I promise you.
Pat, what are some of the other events surrounding this dinner with the dynasties in terms of silent auctions and the like?
Well, there's going to be several autograph sessions, food buffet and open bar. Collectible program is going to be designed by Thomas Allen Pauly, world-renowned artist. As you said, there's a silent and live auction of racing memorabilia, and at the same time get to meet and greet some world-renowned jockeys.
Jeff and Aaron aren't the only one picking winners on Against the Odds. A special guest from Las Vegas helped them handicap the Prioris Stakes.
Pleased to have you part of Against the Odds. Mike, thanks for joining us so late in the night.
No problem, Aaron and Jeff. Glad to be here.
Mike, I know that you looked at the Prioris. Now we're looking for a selection that may make the bettors a couple of dollars. Who do you like at Belmont on Saturday?
To be honest with you, I like the entry in that race because, not just because you get light green, which is, you know, probably the only horse in here that can run sub 22, sub 45, and even sub 109 for 6 furlongs, is undefeated at going 6 furlongs. But I kind of like having that cat moves because there's not many horses in here that look like they can rate. That horse looks like it could probably rate a little bit, and Dutrow could probably, you know, have that horse if something happens on the front end in the speed duel. I think cat moves can rate and maybe clean up if the other one doesn't win.
So you get 2 for the price of 1, really, and you got the race surrounded. Light green. She's only got one way to go, though, and I think what I've been told or what I read is that Kyle Pletcher says they're not waiting around for anybody. Just going to go.
No, and, you know, like I said, it's run sub 22 and sub 45, and no one else in this race really can do that. So if she goes, she probably can last better than any of the rest in here.
Both horses coming off 2 straight wins by open lengths, and they're only 3-1 on the morning line.
The entries 1-2 with a furlong to go. Cat moves in light green. It's light green on the inside. Cat moves on the outside. Reforestation moving late. Here's the wire. And Cat Moves gets the better of her stablemate, light green.
Race Day America caught up with Hal Wiggins, former trainer of Rachel Alexandra.
I got to know you surrounding Rachel Alexandra, as so many people did, and she was such a delightful filly to watch you train. What's been the sort of the morale around the barn since she changed hands? I'm sure this was a difficult time for all of you.
It was early. It sure was. You know, it's just when you have a horse like that and all of a sudden it walks out, it just it hits you pretty hard and hits the hip pretty hard. But we've gotten over it now, and everything's kind of back to normal. And we still watch her run. We're watching her train quite often, just up at the track when she came on. And but I understand she's at Saratoga now, so we'll be just watching for her next races.
Hal, in looking at the way that you were training Rachel Alexandra, you always gave her, when I calculated out the time between works, it ranged anything from 10 days to sometimes 16 days in between her works. And then you give her a lot of time in between races. Steve Asmussen training her differently, and she's producing the same results. Do you think she's a filly that in whoever's hands had her, she's just that good? She's all racehorse?
I think so. We were breezing her really pretty fast, and it was almost too fast for my liking with Calvin on, and Steve has been breezing her with the exercise rider, and the boy does a great job. I've watched a couple of her breezes, and I certainly want to compliment Steve on her last win in the Mother Goose. He did a great job with her, and I think he'll continue to do that.
That's it for this week on Horse Racing Television. Here's what you can look forward to next week.